Today's forecast is calling for partly sunny, becoming mostly cloudy, 40% chance of rain today. In Alamogordo, high of 91, low of 65. For Cloudcroft, high of 75 and an overnight low of 52. For tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, partly cloudy tomorrow night with up to a 40% chance of rain. In Alamogordo tomorrow, high of 91, low of 68. Cloudcroft tomorrow, high of 72 and an overnight low of 52. There are no roadblocks scheduled today on either Highway 70 or 54 South. For the latest roadblock information, call 575-678-1178.
I'm Ed Harrell, and this is The Kindness Revolution. One of my favorite philosophies goes like this. Yard by yard, life is hard. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. I really like that. For many of us, life can appear to be hard. We get up in the morning overwhelmed with the difficulties we're facing. For some, it's relationships. For others, financial issues. Some are dealing with health challenges. Others, job issues. For most of us, however, if we break our issues down to bite-sized pieces, they don't look so large, so looming. The vast majority of our problems look less daunting when we begin to realize that they don't overwhelm us when we look at them in light of what we can do right now to deal with them. Taking regular, daily, small steps to deal with our problems leads us towards our ultimate goals. Remember, yard by yard, life is hard. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. To learn more, check us out at thekindnessrevolution.net.
It's kickoff time for Tiger Football 2018. The Black and Gold face the Valencia Jaguars to open the season tonight at 6:45 p.m. Kickoff at 7. Only on your Tiger sports station, ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. The Aggies open their season at Aggie Memorial this Saturday night. NMSU hosts Wyoming. Kickoff at 8 p.m. Pre-game starts at 7 on your Aggies destination in the Basin, ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. This is the KNMZ Football Roundtable, Season 31. Once again, 5 local business people and a competition picking winners from the best high school, college, and NFL games every week. Manny Gonzalez from Charles Garland and Harris Agency, Donna Columbus of First National Bank, Brandon Burling from Desert Sun Auto Group, Timothy Brock of Christ Community Church, and Jake Roberts of Caldwell Banker Sudderth Nelson. Now, let's get to the picks. ESPN Alamogordo 103.7, and welcome into the KNMZ Football Roundtable as we've made it to year 31. Excited to be here and be for another season, and we got the whole crew in studio today. Start over here with the elder statesman, Manny Gonzalez, Charles Garland Harris Agency.
Good morning, Alamogordo, Tularosa Valley, and the greater Holloman Metroplex. Good morning.
You know, Manny came in, he was doing a mic check thing before. I was like, oh, I miss Manny. Hadn't seen him in a while.
And by the way, my brother, it's poor form to cut off the Zeppelin. Okay.
Well, you know, it faded out a little bit, but.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back aboard.
All right. Brian Smyset is First National Bank. Let me get that a little bit closer there, Brian. There we go. Want to be able to hear you. And, of course, he is stepping in for Donna Columbus. Brian, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you very much. Glad to come back and be able to step in this year. Donna's out on a little IR right now, so we're hoping maybe she'll come back in mid-season form and pick up where I've dropped the ball for her. So I talked to her about it. It's like, you know what, maybe, Donna, maybe we can have the Donna's dial-in pick of the week. So we'll see if she's able to do that. So I'm glad to be here.
Sounds good. Brandon Burling, Desert Sun Auto Group. Brandon, what's up, buddy?
Just another year. I don't know what year it is for me, but, you know, it's been a few, and always a pleasure to be on here, talk a little football. It's
Year 5.
Is it year 5 for me?
Oh, okay.
You know, it's just kind of, I don't know, you get excited this time of year. It's not like fall's in the air yet, but it's like like that sign that it's coming, and you know, I get I don't know, just exciting.
All right.
Hopefully we have a good year this year, and do you remember the standings last year?
Yeah, I came back and beat you in that last week. I think it was. I'll have to look it up, but I think
you're right.
I think I beat you by like 2 games or something.
You did. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Good job.
You know what? I think I've won this thing twice, and how many of years I've been hosting it, and I guess I should be winning it more, right, Manny? Is that kind of how that works?
You're the professional sports guy.
Yeah, I know. You're the one who lives it, breathes it, talks it,
Something like that. Timothy Brock from Christ Community Church. Tim, what's up, buddy?
Man, I can't believe it's already fall.
Yeah.
I know it's August, still feels summery to me. Baseball season's still in full swing, but this is the start of football, man. That's exciting. If you're an American, you gotta love football, and I know this group definitely loves it. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. And we've got new blood on the show this year. Jake Roberts from Caldwell Banker Sutterth Nelson is joining the show. Jake, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey, man, thanks for having me. Definitely a blast. Honored to be here. I see that you guys might want to go ahead and erase your guys' standings because you won't be winning this year. I will be taking that title. It might seem a little bold, but I'm very confident I got this. So let's do this. Let's jump in here. I don't want to embarrass you guys, being the freshman, but.
I like the confidence.
Yeah,
I do. I think I want to say we had somebody a couple years ago who was new on it that did really well. So we'll see what happens.
It wasn't me last year, that's for sure.
It was a fun year last year, and looking forward to another fun year in 2018. But most importantly, happy to have you all tuned in with us, and a lot of high school games we're going to pick this week. We've got a couple of college games. We've got NFL preseason, which Manny will be grumbling about a little bit later, and I'm sure everybody else will as well. But
Cleveland beats the Eagles 5-0.
That was bad last night.
Are you kidding?
I was driving home after work last night, and I heard that score, and I went, "That's not real. Did that actually happen in a pro game?" But
it's preseason.
Yeah, it's still 5-0 though. It's so weird.
It's preseason. That's the closest Cleveland will get to actually winning a game this year. Got to give them something. A little confidence.
Hopefully they'll win.
From what I've seen a little bit, for a freshman kind of walking in like that, Baker's doing okay. He's scrambling. He's making some plays, but I got to stick up for Baker a little bit, but he's been fun to watch.
I think Baker's going to do great. I'm just not entirely sure he's going to perform as a first round pick should. The number 1 overall pick of the draft. I think he's a great player. I'm just not so sure he's going to be that good.
Yeah.
As we talk about, there's no such thing as a one-man team, right?
Yep. Yeah, you got to have the guys around you, so especially in football. Yeah.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Well, with the number 1 pick for the last 20 years from the Cleveland Browns, you'd think they'd be doing a little better.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough deal there in Cleveland. All right, let's go ahead and start off with Tiger football as they hit the road and take on Valencia. These two teams opened the season last year. Of course, Alamogordo went winless last season. Valencia's only win was the win over the Tigers in the first game of the season. So, both sides would like to start anew. A lot of positivity around Coach Sisko's group this year. Certainly, they look a ton better from practice, from scrimmages. They're just not as small as they were last year. They've got some experience this year. It certainly feels like it should be a better season for the Tigers, but we'll see as the games start. No way to really predict that for sure. Valencia's got a new coach. They brought in the coach from Miyamura out in Gallup. Coach Schenk is his name. So be a new start for those guys as well. New coach, different situation for the Valencia Jaguars. And, of course, you can listen to the game on 103.7 tonight. Manny?
Well, you covered it more or less already. The Tigers, I've peeked in on a couple of practices, and I went to the scrimmage. The good news is that they're bigger and there's more of them.
Yeah, there are more of them. I think Coach said they're almost near 70 on the roster right now, so that's pretty good.
And I was impressed with the size. A lot of those young people grew up over the summer. Be interesting to see the quarterback situation. I think they're going to try 2 quarterbacks. Braden Martin, number 15. He's a senior, 6'1". And then John Paul Madden is a junior, 6'2". He threw the touchdown to the corner fade at the scrimmage. So these are 2 pretty good quarterbacks. I think Tom Turnbull, who ran the ship last year, is going to be playing wide receiver and defensive back. So it'll be kind of interesting to see. I think the Tigers will be fine on the road. Like I said, I've got a lot of high hopes for this season. After last season, all you could do is get better. But I think they're going to be better than better. I think they're going to have a great year. So go Tigers.
All right, Manny's got the Tigers. Brian?
Tell you what, haven't seen a whole lot of the Tigers at all. But however, my the neighbor who is the mom on the sideline, she assures me that this year's team is substantially better than last year's team and looking good. She says they're hitting their routes. So I'm going with the mom, and I'm taking Alamogordo on the road.
All right. Brandon?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to have two quarterbacks. You know, you got one quarterback that's playing offense and defense, and so they're going to be kind of alternating in and out, which fresh arm, you know, could make a difference. Let's just hope it does. I think they've been doing a lot of practice that way. You know, it's the first game of the season. Got to go Alamogordo Tigers.
Tim.
Okay, so last year I started off with this idea that, you know, people would hate me if I picked against the Tigers, but it's the only reason I passed Manny for last place last year, because he's so faithful. I love it. Yeah, obviously you mentioned it. The Tigers didn't win any games last year. It was a nice segue from Cleveland to Alamo. We're thinking Cleveland's going to rebound. I think Cleveland could actually make the playoffs, speaking of pro football. I'm not sure Alamogordo will this year. I think they're still a year away. I'm going to go with just the home team, so I'm going to go with Valencia in the first one.
Okay. Jake?
You know, again, there's a lot of optimism with this group and the new kids that are out there in Alamo, and I think, you know, being an alumni, I'm going to have to go hometown favorite on this one. We're taking Alamo all the way. Go Tigers.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to go Alamogordo first game of the season. I think these are probably two evenly matched teams, and I think the big thing for Alamo, just from their standpoint, they can focus on what they can focus on. They're so much better prepared for game one this year than they were last year. All the stuff for Coach Cisco is installed and ready to go, and they know the offense, they know the defense, and most importantly, they just they look more like a football team this year. They were so small last season in some spots. So,
Charles, you've been closer to the team this year than any of us, and I understand the offense will be the same. No huddle. The tempo may change, but no huddle, and they'll spread, and they'll also operate out of the wishbone primarily.
Yeah.
Defense will be different. I think they're going 4-2-5.
Yes, sir.
And so that'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. So anything else to mention about the scheme?
No, I think, the 4-2-5, they're trying to, I think, match up better against, because they're going to see spreads most of the season, so that gives them better opportunity. I think also it puts more skill kids on the field, what Coach said, that you've got guys that are probably better suited to be linebackers and DBs as such, so you get a little more skill on the field instead of trying to, shove 5-6 linemen. I think, and he also said he feels like, they can leave 6 in the box instead of having put 7-8 in order to stop the run like they probably had to last year. So makes a difference. I feel like that they they can keep the DBs on the outside and defend the spread. And so again, I'm waiting to see the first game tonight, kind of get a real feel of the Tigers. Scrimmages are scrimmages. They are what they are.
Yeah, and keep in mind that we scrimmaged Las Cruces last year.
Yeah.
So we say we look better. With all due respect, anybody who's going to scrimmage against Las Cruces is not going to look good.
Yeah.
So I'm not suggesting, I think they are better, and I agree with everything that you guys have said, but it is hard to take a true snapshot of how good they're going to be against the competition.
I think it's for anybody, this season.
Sure.
Everybody who's got all the, this person's coming back, that person's coming back. With high school kids, that's not necessarily a guarantee than compared to a professional or compared to even a collegiate team. So who knows? But yeah, I think that they are so much better off than they were last year, and we'll see what happens tonight. But yeah, I like the Tigers. It'll be an interesting game this evening. The one game here in the area tonight is Tularosa hosting Hot Springs. Wildcats were a playoff team last year, got to state quarterfinals. Now, a little bit of a difference for Tularosa this year. They're in the same classification as Hot Springs this year. The way things kind of shifted around in the state. The teams that are in Class 3A this year are some bigger schools, so we're talking St. Mike's and Robertson and a few of those others that are in there. So, they moved around the classifications a little bit for this season. Not the same districts, but the same classification overall. So, kind of an interesting game to start the season. Tule's, I think, opened up with Hot Springs. It feels like almost every year for the last decade they've opened up against Hot Springs. So they make the trip over from Tier C. Hot Springs went 6-4 last year and missed the postseason. Feels like a pretty even matchup, and we'll see with Tularosa at home whether they can pick up a little bit of an advantage there. Brian, you get the first pick here with the Wildcats. Who are you going to go with?
I'll never go with Tularosa. I'm sticking with the home team. I don't want people to hate me either, like Tim said. So I got some alumni at the bank who went to Tularosa High School, so I don't want them to hate me at work. So I'm going with Tule.
And you got a nice branch in Tule, too.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
All right, Brandon.
From what I understand, Tule feels like they have a pretty solid team this year. Hot Spring in the past, they've put together a few decent, had a few decent years, but I'm going to go Tularosa. I just hope that they come out swinging.
All right, Tim?
Yeah, if I didn't have to officiate a game tonight in Carrizozo, I think I'd be at this game to watch because you said it well. Both these teams have high expectations this year. Coach Richard Grace and Thule, they're going to put up a lot of points. So, yeah, I mean, I'm an Alamogordo graduate. I love Alamogordo. Tularosa, it's down the street. I'll split my bets today, and I'll go with Thule.
All right.
I don't want to get completely run out of the county, at least.
Jake?
Thule's been historically pretty tough. They're always a great team. The alumni is always super proud of what they do there every year. I feel like that's the way to go. There's no way I'm betting against Tularosa this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's an even matchup. I think, Hot Springs, Brandon's absolutely right. They have some solid years, and then they can have a few bad years in there. There's not an overall consistency. Thule seems to be on the right track. They went through about 2 or 3 years where it was really rough for them. They made the playoffs 2 years ago in Coach Grace's first season, and last year, we're an 8-win team. So certainly seems like things are headed the right way for the Cats, and so I'll go with Tularosa. Manny?
Yeah, this is District 5. 3 is Coalbray, Hatch Valley, Hot Springs, and Socorro. 4 is Dexter, New Mexico Military Institute, Tucumcari, and Thule. This is in Tularosa. Tularosa is going to go back to their smash mouth football. They're going to try to run the ball downhill on you. And when they've done that in the past, they've had success. But more than anything, it's a home opener in Tularosa. It's in their place. I'm going Wildcats.
Now, is Coleman still one of their coaches? Or no, he was basketball, huh?
Yeah, see, I think he was on the girls' assistant
girls
team. Yeah.
JV head coach and assistant to the varsity.
I think I'd like to see him kind of move over and kind of help out a little bit there with that football program too.
I think he is.
He might be.
That would be great.
And you see it at Alamogordo and at Tularosa. There's a lot of sharing of coaches and things like that, just because you only have a limited amount of people that are.
Be interested to know if he is, because that'd be great to see him out there on that coaching sideline.
Yeah. All right, Cloudcroft back to 11-man football this year, so threw him back on the pick sheet for this season. They go to McCurdy tomorrow. This will be a Saturday afternoon game. 8-man football last year. They lost in the state quarterfinals. They won a playoff game against Carrizozo, then lost to Melrose. I think it was 58-0 or something like that, which, there's such a discrepancy between the top teams in 8-man and below that. And you can say the same with 11-man. Hayden Burnett's a new coach up there. I've had a chance to at least chat with him just a little bit. They're excited to be back at 11-man football. It's going to be a challenge for them. I mean, you have a roster of 20 kids. There's a lot of other teams that will have similar for them, but the depth obviously is going to always be a challenge. You always hope that you don't get guys hurt. I'll say from my 2 cents, I feel like Cloudcroft and Mescalero should both be 8-man programs just because of the size of the communities, but the schools were obviously big enough for them to jump to 2A. That's an NMAA call there. And I think, there's something different about playing 11-man to 8-man football. I think 11-man probably gets people a little more excited for it, but we'll see how Cloudcroft transitions. McCurdy was an 11-man team last year, so it'll be curious to see how this works out for Cloudcroft heading into this season. But in terms of having a whole lot of insight in either side of it, probably home team might be the best guess in this one. I'll give you guys obviously the chance to make that decision. Brandon, sorry you got to go first on it, buddy.
No, I know. I don't know enough to say yes, so I'm going McCurdy.
Yeah. I'm hoping Cloudcroft does well, but first game back at 11-man football in a couple years, you kind of head towards a team that's been there previously. Tim?
Yeah, and Cloudcroft got off to such a great start last year. I think they were 5-1, and then they had some injuries that you mentioned, which hurts any level. But the smaller the school, the greater the impact of an injury. They finished 1-4, and now like you mentioned, going up to 11-man, it's a different game. I mean, it's 2 totally different games. So I think just there's going to be a learning curve. New coach taking over from Matt Strickland last year, Hayden Burnett. I think he'll do a great job, but the learning curve is such on the road that I'm going to go with the team that's used to playing 11-man, and I'll go with McCurdy.
All right.
Who doesn't like a David and Goliath story?
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, they were really good last year. They've got to be bringing that confidence into them. It's always been a halfway decent run program. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ride Cloudcroft through this one as well. I know they're moving up in division. That's exciting for them. Hopefully they see it as an exciting challenge, and they're going to ride this wave.
All right. Just the long road trip, and I think McCurdy just having a bit more experience. They didn't have a good season last year. They were 3-7, but I'm just going to stick with the team that played 11-man last year. It's nothing against Cloudcroft. I just think maybe the first few games it's going to be a bit of a transition for them, and we'll see what happens there.
I just got to say, Jake, I think McCurdy, for the first time in their life, have been referred to as Goliath.
Yeah,
that might be true.
Probably.
That might be true.
Slightly overstated, but we know where you're going with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Manny?
I think they're a private Christian school. I think they would prefer to be David. But. So this is 2A football. This is Dulce, Escalante, Coronado, McCurdy, Mission Achievement, Newcomb, and Cuesta. And Cloudcroft is playing in District 3, which is Capitan, Estancia, Lordsburg, and Mescalero. This is a long road trip up to the beautiful Española Valley. That's a little bit of a handicap, I think. But can you imagine that the kids in Cloudcroft and their coaching staff have all had this conversation about, we've gone from 8-man to 11-man, and probably there's a lot of doubters out there. I think they've got the mentality of this change in hand. I'm going to go Cloudcroft on the road. I like the Bears.
All right. Brian?
Wow. I tell you what, just because that transition up to from the 8 to the 11-man, I think it's just going to. I say it's going to be a learning curve. I think it's going to take them a few games to get there, and you pair that with a long road trip. I got to go with McCurdy.
There you go. All right. On to some games outside of our area. Clovis at Hobbs. Old school district matchup for these teams. Not in the same district. Are they in the same district now, man? You've got your sheet there. I'm trying to remember where Hobbs is positioned now in football. Are they still with Cruces?
Good question. So Hobbs is
one more up there.
Yeah, Hobbs is District 3. It's 3 and 4. Carlsbad, Centennial, Gadsden, Hobbs, Las Cruces, Mayfield, Oñate.
Okay, so they're in the Cruces.
And Clovis is in the Northern District with El Dorado, La Cueva, Manzano, and Sandia. They're with all the Albuquerques.
Okay, that's where they were last year. Both teams where they were last year, but I couldn't remember that there's a difference between, you got football, which is 2A, 6A, 8-man, 6-man, and then all the rest of the sports have gone to just 5 classifications this year, so it's kind of made it. I'm trying to remember which one's which sometimes.
You notice how fast I looked that up on my handheld device?
Yeah. Man, he's old school there. All right, Clovis at Hobbs. Clovis, quarterfinalists last year, lost to Manzano, the eventual state champion. Lost to Cleveland, did Hobbs. They were 9-3 last year, quarterfinalist on their own right as well. Seems like a pretty even matchup. Second year for Cal Fullerton, who's the new head coach there at Clovis, took over for Roanhouse, and Hobbs. Still has their guy, which I can't think of his name all of a sudden, but spread guy who used to coach down in Sea Valley Christian. But anyway, this feels like a pretty even matchup between the two sides. Tim?
Yeah, you remember Clovis beat Hobbs to start the year 2017, 33-24, but Hobbs only lost twice, and the other one was to Las Cruces and Cleveland in the state quarterfinals. So I think Hobbs is certainly trending in the right direction. Not that Clovis is a pushover by any means, but I'm going to go with Hobbs.
All right, Jake?
So I'm not as familiar with these programs as I probably should be at the moment, and I'll be definitely doing some research so that I can get caught to speed on some of the other divisions. I went ahead and picked Clovis in this game, though.
It's not a bad pick, and Clovis has had the better of Hobbs, I think, over the years. I think home team, and just because it's an even pretty even matchup between the two sides. Hobbs is such an enigma to me. For they're the biggest school in the state of New Mexico, biggest high school, and you would just think the size that football would be a little bit better, but for some reason, they've always been a basketball school, but to me, you've got the numbers and you've got the athletes. It really shouldn't, that kind of thing really shouldn't matter at the high school level. But I'll go with Hobbs. Cleghorn, by the way, is the coach. They've shown a lot of improvement, and we'll see maybe if they take another step this year. Manny?
Yeah, this is a rematch of last year's first game. That was in the purple place. This one is down in Hobbs. Clovis is a notorious slow starter, and I think they're gonna be in the mix again this year. But for some reason, the first 1 or 2 or 3 games are unimpressive for the Wildcats, especially on the road. I'm gonna go Hobbs Eagles.
Brian?
I think Manny just sold me on that. Originally, I tossed a coin because I wasn't sure. It seemed like a pretty even matchup, and I was looking at Clovis, but Manny just changed my pick, so it looks like I'm on the Hobbs.
All right. And Brandon?
So I think Hobbs right now is in a little bit of a disarray. They have not been feeding their kids enough lunch. I saw that on television, that they're really upset that they're not being proportioned, which tells me they probably have some pretty good eaters down there. But I'm going to kind
The
of go
bread
out
trucks
here.
can't get through. The bread trucks can't get through because the oil trucks are clogging the roads.
I'll go out. I'm going to go with Clovis.
All right. Carlsbad goes to Artesia. This is the Eddy County War. Carlsbad 4-6, missed playoffs last year in 6A. Artesia, of course, is the defending state champion in Class 5A. They won their 30th state championship. Artesia at home. This is obviously going to be a tough matchup for Carlsbad. But I'll tell you what, Carlsbad always, I feel like, shows up pretty solidly for this game. Last year, I think they were handled pretty well.
34-0.
34-0, yeah. So, but if Carlsbad's got the kids, they can definitely compete with Artesia. There's no doubt about it. But going into the Bulldog Bowl, man, that's a tough place to go in. And you're facing defending state champs, but that's almost like old hat for Artesia going into the season as defending state champions. So, Jake, who do you like, Artesia or Carlsbad?
With a rivalry game like this, sometimes home field advantage is all that matters. Being defending state champs, I'm going to pick Artesia on this one.
Yeah, I'll go Bulldogs at home. I think they're probably the better team going into the season, and we'll see if Carlsbad can at least give them a good one coming up tonight. Manny?
Yeah, last year Artesia went down to Seabad and beat them there. And so this year, Seabad's coming up to Artesia. 47 minutes parking lot to parking lot.
I was waiting for it.
Short trip.
Yeah.
Easy trip. This will be a fun game though. But I'm going to go Artesia at home.
And a nice mix of the colors though. You have the Artesia fans in their bright orange, and the cavemen fans will come up in their blue, so it'll be kind of a nice image there. At the
It was like a Florida
tonight.
Gator swamp situation.
Something like that. There you go. The right colors. That's for sure. Brian?
I tell you, I was out in Artesia yesterday, spent the day out there, and that community is already fired up. I mean, they're planning the tailgates already for tonight. They got tomorrow. They're doing a huge thing out there in the community with their oil days. They got the orange flags flying. And that facility is just amazing for a high school facility. I mean, first time I had a chance to see that, I was just blown away. So those guys are serious out there about their football. So there's no way I can pick against Artesia today.
All right, Brandon?
Yeah, Artesia. No questions.
Tim?
For the sake of brevity, Artesia.
Right. We'll go ahead and take a commercial break. We'll come back, and we've got a couple more high school games, and then we got a couple of college games at week 0 of the college football season. But, hey, fun deal for New Mexico State because they're on national television coming up tomorrow night. That's exciting for them for sure. All right, we'll take a break and come right back. You're listening to the KNMZ Football Roundtable on ESPN Alamogordo.
Hi, I'm Pastor Tim Brock, and I'd like to invite you to Christ Community Church, a place to belong, a place to come together, and a place to leave inspired. We have dynamic worship, engaging and relevant Bible teaching, and excellent ministries for everyone in the family. Our worship services are Sundays at 9 and 11:15. Christ Community Church, where it's about relationship, not religion, and where Jesus Christ is Lord. For more information, find us online at christcommunityalamo.org.
Are you looking for your dream home, or are you selling your property and need the guidance to get noticed? Coldwell Banker Sudderth Nelson and Alamogordo can help you with professional real estate services today. Check out our website, alamogordo.coldwellbanker.com. You can search for properties, get free real estate reports, and get in contact with an agent today. Call at 437-1137 or email us at cbsn@cbsn.com. Stop by Caldwell Banker Sudderth Nelson today at 800 Scenic Drive in Alamogordo.
This is Brandon with Desert Sun. I'm not sure if you all know this, but Desert Sun Auto Group consists of 5 dealerships across the great state of New Mexico. This means we have 5 new car departments with over 500 vehicles to choose from and over 200 quality pre-owned vehicles. Majority of these vehicles, when bought from us, are backed with Desert Sun's lifetime powertrain protection. Stop by either Desert Sun Motors or Desert Sun Toyota today and let us help you find your new ride. See our full inventory at DesertSunMotors.com.
At Charles Garland and Harris Insurance, we are proud of the great high schools in Alamogordo, Cloudcroft, Mescalero, and Tularosa. Our student athletes set a valuable example for everyone to follow. They work hard to succeed in the classroom and in competitive sports and contribute enormous time and energy to bring pride to their schools and community. At Charles Garland and Harris Insurance, as we work hard to protect the families and businesses of Otero County, we proudly take pause to follow our student athletes and extend our best wishes for their success every day in the classroom and on game day.
Sometimes you just need a loan. Your daughter Debbie is getting married. Your son Toby needs a new tuba. Let's face it, families cost money. Things come up that you had no way of predicting. We make personal loans for occasions like this to people who have good credit. So next time you find yourself connected to the unexpected, stop in and see us about a personal loan, subject to credit approval. First National Bank, member FDIC. When you grow, we grow.
ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Welcome back to the KNMZ Football Roundtable. Moving along with a few more high school games. Just a reminder for our area games, Alamogordo at Valencia tonight. You can listen here on 103.7 FM. You can also listen on the ESPN Alamogordo YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/ESPN Alamogordo. We're actually streaming this show as well. We've been streaming the Roundup and, of course, our Tiger Sports events as well. So you can listen to us live on your phone, on your tablet. It's super easy. Everybody uses YouTube, so I figure that's it's pretty easy for everybody out there to follow along with us. Make sure you like us on the ESPN Alamogordo Facebook page as well, and you can get the link to all that stuff. And, of course, Tularosa tonight against Hot Springs. That's at 7 o'clock kickoff out at Cerny Stadium. Volcano Vista taking on La Cueva. La Cueva, in a lot of people's books, is the favorite to win it all this year in Class 6A. So we'll see if that holds true or not. Volcano Vista was a 5-5 team last year, missed the playoffs. The Bears, meanwhile, were the state runners-up. They lost a 14-7 game in the final to Monzano. So La Cueva's got a number of returners. I've heard differing things about them, though, that the kids that graduated were the really good kids and not the ones that are returning, but I've read also the opposite on that La Cueva's the team to beat this year. So take it for what you will. There's always differing opinions. Manny?
Well, actually, your intel is pretty good. The people that I talked with last year who are in Albuquerque, I don't go to Albuquerque, so I have to talk to people on the telephone. But anyway, they're the ones who said Monzano.
Okay.
All the way.
Yeah.
Just stay with Monzano. This same bunch is saying La Cueva.
All right.
And so they say La Cueva's the place to be. So I'm going to go La Cueva. They're number one in the state. With Volcano Vista, I think, is 18 overall.
Yeah.
Something like that. Go Bears.
Brian?
I'll tell you what, I'm on Manny's bandwagon here with La Cueva. Just knowing both those teams, I mean, my place in Albuquerque, all the students there, that funnels into Volcano Vista. I've known a lot of those kids from middle school, and actually, there's some great athletes, but most of them were, like a lot of basketball. But when it comes down to football, La Cueva's they're just heads and tails, I think, above a lot of the teams. So I got to go La Cueva.
All right. Brandon?
I'm gonna go La Cueva as well.
Tim?
Yeah, La Cueva's a blue chip. I'm not gonna go against that start.
Yeah. So I see them back at this level. I mean, they went through about a 5-year span there where La Cueva wasn't very good, and it was just weird because we'd been so used to them being the best team in the metro area for a long time. Jake?
I was going to go ahead and pick La Cueva. I do think that they're probably the favorite in this one, but I'm playing the game today. Let's go Volcano.
Okay. Picking the Hawks. I'm going to go La Cueva. I think first game of the season. Nobody really has a home field advantage and all this. I'm not sure what stadium they're playing at tonight, whether it's Community Wilson or Milne, but I'll be curious to see what happens with that.
The other hot bad boy in Albuquerque is El Dorado.
Really? Okay. And, of course, the two Rio Rancho schools will be good again this year. I think Cleveland's supposed to be very, very good this season. Mm-hmm. And they play, I think, Oñate tonight down in Cruces, which Cleveland should be the heavy favorite there. Speaking of in Cruces, I think this is the 1 p.m. game tomorrow at the Field of Dreams. Monzano taking on Las Cruces High. These two teams played in the state semifinals last year. Monzano, of course, went on to win the state championship. They went undefeated last season. The Albuquerque teams don't tend to travel a lot, so it's always a little interesting when they do leave the metro area, but I want to say Monzano played that semifinal in Cruces last year. If I remember right, I have to go check that, but I might be wrong. Probably am wrong. So, defending state champ, they certainly have lost some. Jordan Bird is over at San Diego State playing college football now, so arguably their best player, but it sounds like they've still got a lot of good players again this year. They're going to be a force, and you'd expect Cruces to be the same. They're probably the best team in that city this year. we'll see what they can do on the state level. There's a lot of people who feel like Cruces maybe doesn't have a legit state title contender this year, but again, it's opinions, and we haven't seen a game yet, so we'll see. Brian?
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, I think Las Cruces in this one, they're going to give a little Southern-style smackdown, a little payback for last year. So, I'm going with Las Cruces.
Okay. Brandon?
This is a tough game. I would suspect this might be probably the best game of the weekend, in my opinion.
Definitely.
I think it's going to be a fight. I'm going to go Cruces. They're the home team, and they're tough. So not saying Manzano's not, but at home, I think they're going to show up, and they're excited for football season as well.
Tim?
Yeah, definitely the best game. I mean, Manzano, state champions. Cruces always a contender for the state championship. I'm going to go with Manzano just because my logic is, until you win, I'm going to pick against you, and until you lose, I'm not going to pick against you. So I'm going to go with Manzano. Did I say that right?
I don't know. It's some reason.
Yeah, it was convoluted though.
It confused me, but that doesn't mean that you said it wrong. So
Charles's face was like, "Huh?" Like me in algebra or something.
It took me a second.
Okay, well, Manzano. I'll say it real clear. I want Manzano.
Yeah, no. It was more of just the analogy or whatever it was. I was like, okay. Jake, how about you, buddy?
Super excited for this game. This should be a lot of fun to watch. I'm hoping Cruces kind of goes in there with a chip on their shoulder. I want them to play Manzano tough. It's really hard to take a loss like that. So when that does happen, you want to put it in their teeth the next time around. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Cruces on this one.
Yeah, and again, it's just not knowing, where Manzano is from last year to this year. And I think Tim's right. I mean, they've won 13 straight games. Should you pick against them until they actually do lose a game?
You did follow my logic.
Yeah, no, I understood what you were saying. It was when you said it, I was like,
can you explain it to me?
Let's review.
We've seen this with, like Cleveland a couple years ago when they went on, what was like a 20 or 21 game win streak or whatever it was, something crazy. It's just hard to pick against that team that hasn't lost a game in a year. So, I'm going to go Cruces at home. I think it's going to be a good game, and I really feel like it can go either way. It's the home team thing, I think, for me, more than anything else there. So, Manny?
Yeah, this is the most difficult game on the list, and everything y'all said is exactly right, and I'm not sure what to do. Field of Dreams, is that the difference? Manzano, those young people don't want to break the streak that their other brothers set last year. Everyone's got something to prove this early part of the year. But it's in Las Cruces at the Field of Dreams. To me, that's the difference. I'm going Bulldogs.
All right. And I think we got through everybody. Jake, you went Bulldogs, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Rio Rancho at Centennial. Of course, this will be at the Field of Dreams in Cruces as well. Rio Rancho lost in the quarterfinals to Las Cruces High last year. Centennial lost in the first round to Rio Rancho last year. So this is a rematch again of a playoff from 2017. And Centennial is supposed to be pretty solid this year. Coach Ocampo, who did a lot of good things up in Albuquerque, has been at Centennial for a number of years now. Did they win a state title at 5A? I'm trying to remember before they jumped up to where the big classification is. I can't remember if they won a state title. They got close for sure. But the Rio Rancho schools are just always so solid, and they've got so many kids, and they've in the metro area they've become pretty unbeatable in a lot of sports. So road trip. I will say this: the Rio Rancho schools, Cleveland, Rio Rancho, they travel. They'll go down to El Paso and play a game. They'll go down to Cruces, and as compared to the metro area teams, which don't travel as much as the Rio Rancho schools. So a little bit of a difference there, I think, road trip wise. Brandon?
A little bit of a road trip for Rio Rancho. What's that? 3-4 hours on the road. Centennial. I don't know. Last year they were
okay. They were 5-5.
Yeah, it was just but man, Rio Rancho, they just have the people. They have. My gut says Rio Rancho. I'm gonna go Rio Rancho.
Tim.
Yeah, I think Centennial could be an up and coming school. So this may be the last time I pick against them this year. But I'm gonna go with Rio Rancho again. They're a blue chip. They're so good. They're big. They're everything you want in a football program. So I'm gonna go Rio.
All right. Jake.
Rio Rancho.
I'm going to go Rams. I think Centennial's going to be solid this year, but yeah, it's so hard to pick against the Rio Rancho schools right now. So notice I didn't put Cleveland Oñate on the sheet. That would have been an easy one across the board, I think, for all of us there. No offense to Oñate. Manny.
I'm going to go Rio Rancho, but I'm going to predict that this game is closer.
Could be
real close.
I hope it is, and and that's what I've just talking to some of the people in Cruces. I asked, is that going to be a good game or not? And it was maybe. So
Rio Rancho travels well. Centennial's going to host us in the Field of Dreams again, so I think that's always a factor. But I'm going to go Rams. I think they're ranked a little higher than the Hawks, and by people who know more about it than I do.
Brian.
I'm going Rio Rancho. That community, they just have a wealth of talent. They have a lot of kids in that community now, so I'm going Rio Rancho.
Okay. All right, that's our high school games for this week. And again, I know I mentioned Alamogordo and Tularosa's games. Cloudcroft is at McCurdy. Mescalero plays at home tomorrow. They host Mission Achievement and Success Academy, which is out of the Albuquerque area. So I think they just started their football program last year, because I believe they only played like 2 or 3 games. At least that's what was listed on their schedule. So they're just getting going there.
Yeah, there was a nice article in the newspaper the day before yesterday about them. Kind of a charter school, special program school, yeah.
So there you go. All right, college. Wyoming at New Mexico State. This game is on ESPN2. It is also here on the radio on ESPN Alamogordo 103.7, 7 o'clock pregame, and a 6 o'clock kickoff. But exciting for New Mexico State that they get to be on national television. They're an independent now, so any little bit of exposure can't hurt them one bit. And it's an interesting matchup. They're coming off their first bowl win in 60 years last year. An absolutely exciting season for Aggies fans. And it sounds like they've already sold a lot of seats to this one. They're trying to make the Aggie Memorial look good for national television coming up tomorrow night. So hopefully that is the case, and Las Cruces and the surrounding area show up for it. Wyoming's getting 3.5 on the road, the last one that I saw. And it just feels like a relatively even matchup. I'm going Aggies. It's home. It's the first game of the season. I like New Mexico State. I don't know if they're going to win or not, but I certainly hope they will. I know the quarterback situation's been a little up in the air for them. And Wyoming, they lost their guy to the Bills, Josh Allen. So, they're obviously having to put somebody new out of quarterback this year. Manny?
I'm going to go New Mexico State.
All right.
I think their offense is a little behind the defense. The defense will have to carry them on this game. But I'm going Aggies on this one. Should be fun.
It's my understanding that the Aggies have had a little difficulty with their offensive line, and with Wyoming bringing back a defense I believe was in the top 20 last year, I think that defense on Wyoming is going to win. As much as I don't want to pick against my Aggies, I got to today, so going Wyoming.
All right, Brian bringing the knowledge there. I like it. Brandon.
Once.
I think it'll be more than once.
Well, you look at New Mexico State, Wyoming's favored by 4 points, on the road. When you lose such a key player as which Wyoming did, and New Mexico State didn't have a bad year last year.
They had a great year.
And that was their first year or second year under that
Oh no, Martin's been there for I think this is his 5th or 6th year now.
I thought he was only 2 years.
No? Right, he's been there for a while now.
Well, I think he's just getting that program. I really do. In this area, I think New Mexico State's probably got the best program. I'm going to go New Mexico State at home.
Isn't that crazy to say of the Aggies? I mean, this says probably more about UTEP and UNM that NMSU is probably the best program across the area. But
ouch.
Yeah. Well, they're not. I mean, UNM and they're not very good. I think, and the reason I know that I believe it was either his 4th or 5th year, because he was at the end of the game that they wanted to make it to a bowl game. He was talking about the seniors that were his first recruiting class that were still on the team. So that was a big deal for him. I know that much. So, Tim.
All right, well, at least New Mexico State isn't hosting some perennial Division I powerhouse, because you said it's fun to be on national TV. It's not.
Yeah.
When you're getting destroyed.
And here's the thing, they wouldn't be hosting, it would be on the road.
Good point. They'd be making $1 million, right?
Yeah, exactly. They go to Minnesota next Thursday, so okay. There you go.
Well, but I do think Wyoming's kind of that next tier of Division I talent. I mean, again, they just produced Josh Allen. I'm going to go with Wyoming for for that reason. It's hard to have logic when I have no idea, but that's the best I can do.
Jake.
Charles, I think you actually said it right there, is that the seniors got them to that bowl game, and we don't know how many of those are necessarily returning. They played their last game with Utah. They played them pretty tough. They beat them by about 6 points, which was kind of nice. It was a good game for them. However, Wyoming was dominant in their last matchup against Central Michigan. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with Wyoming. I think they're probably going to be right in the hotter hand. I'd love to see the Aggies come out and do something, but right now, we're gonna. I think Wyoming's gonna have their number.
All right, going with the Cowboys. Tim, you went Wyoming, right?
I did.
Okay. I just want to make. It was one of those.
With confidence.
Yeah. No, I'm
trying to keep track. I got to make sure I win.
Yeah.
Or bury yourself in week 1 as I did last year. The same logic. Oh, ye of rookie mistakes.
All right, this game initially, I believe, was going to be at Hawaii, but obviously with Hurricane Lane out that direction, I believe they moved it, so it's Hawaii at Colorado State now, so it'll be in Fort Collins. So it changes things a little bit. I think the spread is heavy towards Colorado State.
14.
Yeah, so 2 touchdown difference there, and again, a couple of Division I teams playing on, and actually this is a Mountain West matchup, isn't it? I think it's a conference matchup between these two. So, opening up with the conference matchup week 1. We'll see how that goes. Tim?
Okay, we just said that your Bills got Josh Allen from Wyoming. Dallas Cowboys got Michael Gallup from Colorado State. So sticking with my limited first week 0 of college football, I'm going to go with just a famous player that came from a famous school, Colorado State.
All right. Jake?
So, we were talking earlier, and it looks like that game has been moved. It was going to originally be played in Hawaii. Now they're going to move over to Colorado State. I think when you're not mentally prepared for a road trip like that, and all of a sudden you're jumping on a plane for 5 or 6 hours, that's going to mess with any team. It's going to be a little hard to come back from that practice, get acclimated to the weather. I'm going to go ahead and take Colorado State on this.
I'll take the 2 touchdown spread. 14 points is a little too much for me to ignore. I'm going to go Colorado State. Manny?
Well, and also think of the mental state of mind. These kids are getting on an airplane and leaving their friends and family behind in a terrible weather event. So,
very good point.
That, to me, is a factor. But I'd already picked Colorado State, and now if they're hosting the game, that's all the more reason Colorado State.
Brian?
Colorado State, 2 touchdown spread at home. All the other factors going into play. Colorado State.
Brandon?
I got a lot of family out in Hawaii. Prayers and thoughts are with them. That's they're seeing some of the videos and images coming through is pretty crazy right now. I don't think the location makes a difference. I think Colorado State's better game, better team. I'm going to go with Colorado State.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll pick some NFL preseason games. Yeah, coming back here on the KNMZ Football Roundtable.
Are you looking for your dream home, or are you selling your property and need the guidance to get noticed? Coldwell Banker, Sudderth Nelson, and Alamogordo can help you with professional real estate services today. Check out our website, alamogordo.coldwellbanker.com. You can search for properties, get free real estate reports, and get in contact with an agent today. Call at 437-1137 or email us at cbsn@cbsn.com. Stop by Caldwell Banker, Sudderth Nelson today at 800 Scenic Drive in Alamogordo.
Hi, I'm Pastor Tim Brock, and I'd like to invite you to Christ Community Church, a place to belong, a place to come together, and a place to leave inspired. We have dynamic worship, engaging and relevant Bible teaching, and excellent ministries for everyone in the family. Our worship services are Sundays at 9 and 11:15. Christ Community Church, where it's about relationship, not religion, and where Jesus Christ is Lord. For more information, find us online at christcommunityalamo.org.
There are no roadblocks scheduled today on either Highway 70 or 54 South. For the latest roadblock information, call 575-678-1178. Today's forecast is calling for partly sunny, becoming mostly cloudy, 40% chance of rain today. In Alamogordo, high of 91, low of 65. For Cloudcroft, high of 75 and an overnight low of 52. For tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, partly cloudy tomorrow night with up to a 40% chance of rain. In Alamogordo tomorrow, high of 91, low of 68. Cloudcroft tomorrow, high of 72 and an overnight low of 52.
Now you have a choice when it comes to keeping massive files of your bank statements every month. With an online e-statement, you'll have an accurate, easy-to-read electronic statement you can access anywhere, anytime. Get more control over your cash flow. And no more giant filing cabinets. Our e-statements get an A+. First National Bank, member FDIC. When you grow, we grow.
At Charles Garland and Harris Insurance, we are proud of the great high schools in Alamogordo, Cloudcroft, Mescalero, and Tularosa. Our student athletes set a valuable example for everyone to follow. They work hard to succeed in the classroom and in competitive sports and contribute enormous time and energy to bring pride to their schools and community. At Charles Garland and Harris Insurance, as we work hard to protect the families and businesses of Otero County, we proudly take pause to follow our student athletes and extend our best wishes for their success every day in the classroom and on game day.
This is Brandon with Desert Sun. I'm not sure if you all know this, but Desert Sun Auto Group consists of 5 dealerships across the great state of New Mexico. This means we have 5 new car departments with over 500 vehicles to choose from and over 200 quality pre-owned vehicles. Majority of these vehicles, when bought from us, are backed with Desert Sun's lifetime powertrain protection. Stop by either Desert Sun Motors or Desert Sun Toyota today and let us help you find your new ride. See our full inventory at DesertSunMotors.com.
ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Welcome back to the KNMZ Football Roundtable. As we finish up the show for this week, it's NFL picks and preseason, which we all kind of hate to pick, but it's just a necessary evil week 1. What can I say? So we'll jump right into it. Don't have a ton of time left right now, and it'll be Denver at Washington. The quarterback situation in Denver's fun, to say the least. Washington at least has Alex Smith, but again, preseason game. And we'll throw it over there to Brian, who's filling in for Donna. Brian, you're a Cowboys fan?
No.
Chiefs, okay.
But I do watch the Broncos, so
yes.
And that's Donna's team, so therefore, because of this is the Donna pick of the week.
Yes.
Broncos.
All right. Brandon?
I am not going to pick the Broncos. And I am going to pick Washington.
All right. Tim?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Washington as well.
Alex Smith has always been steady. Washington all the way.
I'll go Redskins, I think, at home. But who knows? It's the starters will be out by halftime. Anything can happen.
Right.
I'm just glad Alex Smith is out of the AFC West. Washington.
Yeah, talk about a team with some quarterback issues, right, Brian?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there'll be some question marks this year. We'll see what happens. But I appreciate KC trying to go in a different direction. I mean,
they always do.
Yeah. Green Bay at Oakland. Should be fun. Just you get a little bit of Aaron Rodgers, you get a little bit of Derek Carr. I just get to I get Derek, and I'm trying to make sure. Did I get the right one? Yeah. But anyway, Manny, I know, is excited with Chucky back in the fold there in Oakland. Manny?
Couldn't be more excited. Hey, so all the radios are going to be on your voice in the house. I want you to know that. Okay, but I'll have the computer on and to keep an eye on this game.
All right.
No problem. Oakland Raiders. I hope they play better than they did with the Rams. I hope their 2s and 3s got some extra practice this week. I'm going Raiders.
All right. Brian?
Going Green Bay.
Okay. Brandon?
I'm going to go Oakland.
Tim?
Yeah, I'd love to give you a bunch of breakdown, but we're short on time, so I'll leave all my brilliant preseason knowledge in my back pocket. I'm going to go Oakland.
All right.
Ooh, I'll try to be short, but I think Chucky's been away for too long. I think he's going to need to be brought up to speed a little bit. I think Green Bay's got this one.
I'll go Packers just for fun. I'd make it a split. Who knows? Again, I doubt Aaron Rodgers is going to play a lot. I doubt probably even Derek Carr is going to play a lot. So,
but I love your theory because it's so wrong. What was Coach Gruden doing for all these years? He was arriving. He was arriving at the game scene 4 or 5 days in advance, looking at whiteboards, talking to coaches, checking practices. He's not the game. The game has not left him behind. He's been in the middle of the game.
We'll see. I'm kind of with Jake a little bit there. I'm curious to see. You haven't coached for 10 years.
I'm with Manny.
The game has changed quite a few times since Chuck was in here. He's always had his finger on the pulse. He's great with quarterbacks, but again, he has to run a defense. He can't talk to these players like he used to do 10 years ago. It's just a totally different generation. I'm just not sure he can make that connection at this point, and that's why I want to see it.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Again, it's a big question mark.
Can we talk a little bit more about that?
We're running out of time. We could probably fill out the rest of the show with it. So, all right, San Francisco at Indianapolis. Colts are finally going to get Andrew Luck back, it looks like. Brandon, I mean, did a tear fall when you saw that happen?
You know, I still have my concerns, you know, about the protection. I mean, it looks like, you know, you got one side of the line doing their job, and you got another side of their line that's just letting them just sneak right in. So I just hope that he stays healthy. I hope that they have somewhat of a winning season this year, if not a very winning season. But I would be happy if they just won half their games. You know, just start making a comeback. That's what I want. In this game, just because it's the preseason, they're at home, Indianapolis.
Tim,
I'll go Colts.
All right, Jake.
Garoppolo has been a spark to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to take the Niners in this one.
Yeah, I'll go Jimmy G. Why not? I'll go with the Niners. Who knows? Manny?
He's not going to play more than 2 series, so I'm going Colts.
Well,
that's enough to get him ahead.
Luck's not going to either, so yeah, I don't know.
That's enough to be ahead on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it could be. Brian?
Going the home team. Going the Colts.
All right. Bengals at Bills. Hey, I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be at the end of the day for the Bills, whether it's going to be McCarron or Peterman or Allen, but at the home, who knows? I'll go Bills tonight. Why not? They're my team. I might as well pick them this time around. Manny?
I like the Buffalo Bills.
All right.
Bills.
Brandon?
I like Bills as well.
Tim?
Yeah, I'm going to go Buffalo at home.
Jake?
Let's make that 5 for 5. Bills all the way around.
All right. Arizona at Dallas. Cowboys. You know, a lot of, I think, optimism going into the season. We'll see what they get. Arizona, new quarterback out there with. I don't know if they're going with Rosen to begin the season or not. We'll see what happens, but not Carson Palmer, not the Raiders legend Carson Palmer, as some people will say.
Former Raider great.
Greats, yes. I'm sorry, Tim.
Well, Dallas has no Dak. They're not even going to play him a series. Of course, no Zeke. No offensive line. No Witten ever again. No Des Bryant ever again. They got no chance in the preseason against a top 3 pick or whatever, Josh Rosen. So I'm going to go Arizona.
Okay.
Red Wave. Yeah, last year I picked the Cowboys every preseason one. I got them all wrong, and I got myself buried. So, again, changing my logic, changing my strategy.
All right.
Arizona.
Jake?
Yeah, a lot more questions than answers that you have for Dallas, so I think Arizona is going to be a shoo-in for this one.
I'll go Cardinals. Why not? I really can't give you a good reason why. It's a preseason
Make
game.
something
I don't know
know.
who's going to be playing by halftime, so, you know.
Dallas is at home, but keep an eye on the Cowboys this year. I think they're going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
My coin flip had me taking Arizona.
Okay, there you go. Brandon?
I am not a Rosen fan. I don't like his. Never mind. I'm going to go Dallas. I have no likes whatsoever for.
Can I ask a question? But you're okay with Baker?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm just saying. Let's had to throw that out there.
Let's see if all those other picks were mistakes.
I don't know. I'm just, they're both brash, is what I will say. They are both very brash. And then New England at Carolina, sort of Jake's team. He's, I think he's kind of playing a little bit with the Patriots as maybe a team he'll follow a little bit closer this year. But Jake, who are you going with this one?
So, we've discussed something. I'm a huge fan of systems. I love the way Belichick runs the program. Tom Brady is the legend. I mean, he's the GOAT. However, New England's never really been all that concerned about preseason. They don't need to win. I think they're going to be testing out some new guys. I think in this game, they're basically going to throw it. And I'm going to go with Carolina.
At home, Carolina. And I think Jake's absolutely right. I don't think, in terms of the win and loss part of it, I don't think Belichick really cares in preseason. So, Manny?
And I don't care about New England. I'm going Panthers.
All right, Brian.
All right, there you go. But being knowing one of the only Panther fans in all of Albuquerque, if you Google it, you'll see who that person is. Just for that reason alone, I'm going with the Panthers.
Brandon?
You know, Belichick may not be concerned about winning, but there's a lot of players out there that are concerned about winning so they can try to get a spot on the team. I'm going to go New England.
Tim?
I'm going to stay with the home team and go with Carolina.
All right. That'll do it for the first week, and appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll have another edition of the KNMZ Football Roundtable next week, and tune in tonight. Tiger football is at Valencia. Everybody have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for having me, Charles.
Thanks for coming in, Jake.
Hey, Jake. This just in from Bobby Lara.
Yeah. We're out of time.
You're listening to ESPN Alamogordo 103.7, Southern New Mexico's sports leader, KNMZ Alamogordo.